the best, and I will not be doing any deal without him involved. Like anyone with good sense, I hired experts, all that. There will be no back doors in this contract negotiation. The most interesting part of all this, again, I would hate to hear how Jerry Jones would sound if he was trying to demean the agent, because he said he's not going to have one thing to do with this. I don't even know his name. Peter, your first conversation with us here. What do we make of Jerry Jones suggesting he doesn't know the name of Micah Parsons' agent? They're going to do a deal without him and all the rest of it.
His name is David Mulugeta. He's a great agent. Athletes, Jerry don't care about that. Jerry wants it to be a family business, and he wants to look the guy in the eye, and Jerry wants to be the one who is going to make a deal. This is very close and personal to Jerry Jones. It's going to be the second biggest contract Jerry Jones ever signs, of course, to Dak Prescott, which he did last year. And I believe Jerry Jones wants to deal with Micah. And the second you start talking about agents, it's like, no. What do you want him to say? I really respect the guys at Athletes First. Like, that's not coming out of Jerry Jones's voice. That's not what he's doing. He wants it to be on his terms. And I'll tell you guys this. I think Jerry enjoys the art of the deal more than the football sometimes. He loves the business of the game, and it's very close and it's very personal to him. Is there an urgency? Guess what? There's no GM there that has to report to an owner. A lot of times these GMs are like, every time I walk in the door, I've got the owner saying to me, when's this deal going to get done? Where are we at? Jerry plays both roles. This is close to him. It's personal. He referenced Emmitt Smith and Deion Sanders in deals that he's done before. That is close to 40 years ago. That is the world Jerry's living in. He wants it to be a personal business, and he wants to look his player in the eye.
So I mean, Micah seemed to be put off by this. Does it matter? I mean, does it matter that the agent gets
once the $41 million a year is in front of Micah, it's not going to matter that Jerry disrespected his agent in March. Look, Peter's right. Like, once upon a time, this is how he got in the room with the player. Like, hey, man, like, this is you and me here. Let's talk about this. No state income tax, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't work like that anymore. And I think that Jerry is probably pretty frustrated when you hear him talking here. Like he felt like maybe he and Micah had an understanding, and then the next step is, all right, well, have my agent call Steven and we'll work this out. And now Jerry's feeling like, well, now there's stuff that we didn't talk about that gets brought up. So I think that's what's happening here. But you're right. I mean, like, I'm not trying to demean him. And then objectively, like, the next three things he says, demean him in his profession.
Harry, this whole thing did not sit well with you.
No. Number one, it's okay for Jerry Jones it's 2025. It's okay to live in 2025.
Yeah.
You can't live in the 90s or the 80s. It doesn't work like that anymore, Jerry. But the part that really upset me is the simple fact that you have an agent in David Mulugeta, who is one of the most decorated agents, who's, negotiated over $1 billion in deals, and you have Jerry Jones saying out loud, you don't want to demean him. Well, Jerry, by you saying that, number one, you are demeaning him. But then you're trying to backdoor slide the agent by going to Micah Parsons. Like, to me, that's the ultimate disrespect. This is not Deion. This is not Emmitt Smith. During those days, you were also making NFC championship games and winning Super Bowls. That's not the reality of the Dallas Cowboys right now.
Peter, one thing you're going to have to get used to. We talk about the Cowboys every now and again on this show.
I'm
not sure if word of that has reached you, but every now and again we find a way to sneak the Cowboys into all this. At the end of the day, they will get this done.
Yes.
Micah Parsons is not going to
He always gets the deals done. Jerry does get it, but it might not be on the timeline that we hear, or the Cowboys fans or the ones on Twitter are going to want to play by. Jerry does it by his own rules, and again, the art of the deal. He's going to make the best deal that he thinks is possible, but it will get done. Business always gets done.
See, that's also an issue with me, because Jerry Jones is not proactive. Jerry Jones is reactive. The market is set. Last year, when Nick Bosa, $34 million per year, if you would have got that deal done, Micah Parsons is making what, 35? Now you're going to have to pay him 41 because Jamar Chase is 40.25, and you have Myles Garrett at $40 million a year.
Final word. This is a key reminder that it's not just about Jerry deciding a deal should be done and it's done. The player has some say in this, right? The players on the Cowboys like to wait because they've seen examples, right, of Ezekiel Elliott and CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. If you wait, you get everything you want. So Micah Parsons may be the one who's pumping the brakes here just as much, if not more, as Jerry Jones.
Prediction, this thing gets done 2 hours before kickoff week 1.
The deal, the guaranteed money and the overall money is agreed upon. Cowboys owner saying that he met with the Pro Bowl defensive nightmare for 5 or 6 hours in Jones's office to work out this long-term extension. There are finer details to work out, though, between the team and Parsons' agent, someone Jones spoke on yesterday.
The agent is not a factor here of something to worry about. And I don't know his name. And so my point is that I'm not trying to demean him in any way, but this isn't about an agent. The agent doesn't have one thing to do with what we're doing when we get on a football field against a team.
Micah Parsons would share his thoughts on X, saying David is the best, and I will not be doing any deal without David Mulugheta, his agent, involved. Like anyone with good sense, I hired experts for a reason. There is no one I trust more when it comes to negotiating contracts than David. There will be no backdoors in this contract negotiation. Dan Graziano joining us fresh from the NFL League meetings in Palm Beach, Florida. Dan, what have you heard about a possible extension here for Micah Parsons?
As Jerry indicated yesterday, Randy, they have talked, he and Micah, about a deal. But, you know, what you're hearing from Jerry there is probably some level of frustration that, you know, those talks didn't result in a contract. Obviously, the finer points do still have to be ironed out between the team and Micah Parsons' agent, and I don't think it's as simple as, you know, dotting I's and crossing T's. When the finer points involve language, the guaranteed money means how much is fully guaranteed, how much is injury guaranteed, when does the money show up in terms of the early years of the deal, all those things that have to be worked out. So Jerry may feel like he and Micah had an understanding about parameters, but that doesn't necessarily mean a deal is close. They'll continue to talk. Ultimately, I think everybody around this believes it will get done, but as is the case with the Cowboys and their big veteran contracts, it could take a while.
Jerry Jones has a track record of going directly to the player on contracts like this in the past. I mean, I think Jason Witten stands to, you know, jump out off the screen here. Parsons, meanwhile, set to play on the fifth-year option of his rookie contract. Another hot topic coming out of the league meetings, this tush-push ban, the tabling of that proposal now, but it's not dead yet. Dan, what more can you tell us?
Yeah, this was different. The last couple of years, it was kind of brought up and shot down, but it seems this time that there's more motivation among people around the league to get it banned. It got 16 votes. It needs 24 votes to change a rule, but the vote yesterday was 16-16, or it would have been if they'd taken it. What they're going to do is they're going to rewrite the proposal. The Packers submitted a proposal to ban it, and the language of the proposal was a little too specific to this one rule, too specific, a lot of teams thought, to the Eagles and to some extent the Bills, the other team that uses it a lot. So what they wanted to do is go back and rewrite the rule so it better reflects what the rule was before 2005, which is no offensive player could push any other offensive player, regardless of where you are on the field. And they'll meet again in May, as they always do, the owners, and they'll reconsider this. And if the language change is sufficient to convince 8 more of them to vote, then yes, it's still possible the tush-push could get banned at that May owners meeting.
8 more votes. That's all that separates us from the end of the tush-push. The owners gather for their meeting, as Dan said, in Minnesota in May, so less sun than in Palm Beach. That's Dan.